Hello, family and friends. How are you today? My name is Praiseful, and welcome to another session of Family Strategy. Well, I want to appreciate all of you who have joined me in the last 19 days, thereabout, maybe 18 days. Thank you very much because your feedback keeps us going, and I want you to keep it coming. One of the things we have made up a mind to do that not on our watch will your family suffer, and not on our watch will your marriage go down the drain. Not in a watch where your children have to struggle and they wouldn't know how to what to do with their lives, and how to create a pathway for themselves. Because the new rule of parenting actually is scripting. I understand that many of you want to work with me and it looks like it's tough. Truth is, I cannot reach out to everyone at the same. Many people want to sit with me, but then the cost of sitting with me, it's a bit high. What I've done is to sometimes second them to some of my coaches, certified coaches, over 1,000 of them, who can also work with you and get you results. But even at that, some of them still couldn't afford that, and that's why we've made the family combo available. It's a self-paced, do-it-yourself. If you live out of Africa, you need to get one for your family. Now, I'll tell you why this is very important. Because many years ago, when I noticed that there was sexual abuse all over Nigeria across various families, I went into the studio, created the first of its kind sexual education kit in Africa. Now, he had songs, he had games, he had books, he has all sorts. And there were parents who said it was a bit expensive. Then in Nigeria, it was 7,000 naira. 7,000 naira, maybe that's about maybe $4 or something thereabout, or less than that. And they said it's expensive. Now, some of them later had to come with their children. In fact, there was one case that was so painful. A woman who caught two children having sex with themselves. She had to come to therapy, and therapy then was 20,000 per session. The children will need to do about 10 sessions. That was being penny wise, pounds foolish. Prevention is where I stand. I believe that many of the damages and pains we're going through are preventable, but many of us would rather wait to be solving the problem. So it's scrolling, please. Hey, you will save your family and you'll be able to create a transgenerational system if you place that order right now. Having said that, I'm having a session with African parents in the diaspora on Sunday, the future of African kids diaspora. If you want to attend that session, please get into my, just put on the comments, add me or something like that, and I'll share how you can be a part of that, or you can get into my DM. If you're on YouTube, you can just shoot me a mail, praise for first and last name at gmail.com. I'll tell you how to register. Now, today, I want to talk about how to parent teenagers without losing your mind or marry. A lot of people find it very tough to parent teenagers. I have two of them. And so I understand what you're likely going to be going through. And many of the challenges we go through as parents, not because our teenagers are tough or hard. It's not because they are unruly. Oftentimes, it's because we are not adequately prepared for how to raise teenagers. Because you only need to understand neuroscience of teenagers to understand the neuroscience of adolescents, to understand that the brain function of an adolescent is totally different from an adult. And that's why we say you cannot be a teens teacher without first of all becoming a student. Oftentimes, as parents, we lack respect for our children, especially teenagers. You can't stand the fact that a child that you held in your hands and you literally took care of is now taller than you, and that child is challenging you or questioning what has been a ground rule in the family. That can be tough, I admit. And trust me, many of you are in pain already, going through crisis. I see it all the time. You call me, come here, talk to my kid. Oh, come here and talk to my teenager. My teenager is not listening to me. I hear that and I see that all the time. And trust me, your fears are valid. And you are a good parent. Don't even mix up. You are not bad. The only challenge is that, again, you go to strategy framework. I've been teaching on the three pillars of strategy. Outcome. Outcome you want. You want to raise a successful young man, right? What is your internal capacity? That's the second pillar of strategy. Do you have the internal capacity to raise a teenager in this age and time, knowing fully well that you're raising Gen Z and Generation Alpha? Now, do you have what it takes? What have you studied? What have you learned? Right? And that's why, if you don't have the family combo, trust me, many of the things you are stressing over is already in there. How to bond with your teenager, how to get the best out of teenager in 21 days, how to rebuild relationship, how to master the framework to scripting them without them knowing. You have all of these things, and then how to build a successful family life such that you can create an ideal environment for the best interest of your children. Now, you need to understand that when your internal capacity is low, it would look like everything is a stress. But when you improve your capacity, empowerment, then you realize how easy it is to enjoy the development of your teenagers. The third pillar is the environment, which is the reality of these young people. They're going to argue with you. They are no longer our generation where we kept quiet when our parents spoke. They wanted to be part of the conversation. And when it's not adding up, they want to raise an objection. And there's nothing wrong with that. Disagreement is simply that we don't see things the same way. Both of us can see things differently, and we are both correct. And so I always tell parents that oftentimes you need to increase your capacity, because force is not going to work. If you force them, you are going to produce what we call a pseudo personality, wherein they will show you why they want to see to satisfy to please you. Meanwhile, they have another life. And that's why some parents are shocked that their children belong to gangs. Meanwhile, they are some as a whole. It's because you have not created the ideal environment where their potential can find expression, where they can be honest with you and with themselves. Now, having said this, you don't have to lose your mind, neither do you have to lose your marriage. The first thing I want you to say is that your children are going to turn out well. See, Bible says our children are taught by the Lord, and great is their peace. I believe that absolutely. I was a very troubled teenager, because oftentimes the people you call bad teenagers are not bad. Some of them are troubled teenagers. Some of them are misunderstood teenagers. Some of them are excellent teenagers, presently struggling, and so they look like the bad guy. See, I was that bad. I was so messed up. But you see, my mom never worried. She never agitated at all, because she said to me that she knew the foundation she gave me. And everything she planted, and with my dad, is germinating today. And so I understand what it means to fall as a teenager, to be out, and then to actually become suicidal. But I also understand what it means to bounce back. And I know what it means to reach out to the people, who were going through what I used to go through as teenagers, even as adults. And so you need to understand that teenagers are going to turn out right. I don't care what is going on in their lives right now. Maybe it's already hooked on sex, it's already hooked on drugs, whatever it is, there is always a remedy. We can help you recover your teenager. You only need to reach out, and then we'll create a blueprint for you. Now, so how do you parent teenagers without losing your mind or marriage? The first thing you need to understand is the quadrant of an excellent child, the parenting quadrant, which I created many years ago. In the quadrant, you have the seed owner, which is God. You have the seed handler, which is you. You have the environment, which is the environment your child is growing up in, and then his peers. And then you have the seed, which is your teenager. Now, the challenge of us have, you are the seed owner, you are the seed handler. You don't understand the quality of your teenager. You have an idea of who you want them to be. You are not willing to stop, observe them so that you can guide them. See, teenagers in this age and time are never going to promote what is not self-generated or what is not part of the decision making. And so they're not being forced, or you living in the barracks and ordering instruction. You want to carry them along, even when you know the answer. You want them to be part of the conversation so that they can promote it. Now, you need to understand that if your understanding of the seed is wrong, which means you don't understand it, you don't know their personality, you don't know their love code, you're already going to run into Christ, because you're going to be operating from a position of ignorance and not from a position of knowledge. And so if you are operating from ignorance or assumption, then you're going to likely get in a fight or damage your teenager. Now, you need to also be aware of the environment where your teenagers are growing, the kind of friends they're keeping. Some of you can stand your friends coming to visit, especially the opposite sex. But you're forgetting that we live in the age and time where same sex is out there, right? And so I need you to calm down and understand that just one knowledge away from getting the best out of your teenagers and enjoying the best. Because what knowledge does is that it makes wisdom makes a man's face to shine. And truth is the only thing that sets free. So, for the purpose of this session, there's a lot to teach you and a lot to unpack. However, in fact, you can sign up your teenagers. We now have a class for teenagers that runs. We have the basic and the advanced. It runs for 12 weeks. I think it starts sometime in September. You want to sign up your teenagers for that class. Now, the thing I want to do is you need to clarify your parenting values. We call that parenting values is within the framework, the ambit of the family governance system. Now, a whole lot of yours as parents, we have not clarified our parenting template. Many of us want to parent the way we're parented, and so it cuts across now as a divided house. What kind of children do we want to use? We call that perceptual code. Perceptual code is a descriptive word that governs who you want every member of your family to become, how you want them to think. So if you say every member of your family is dash, what is that dash? Is it royalty? Is it innovative? Is diplomats? Are they celebrities? Are they exceptional leaders or transformational leaders? You need to be clear that. And so when that is clear, that alone is enough to stop you from yelling, from shouting, from screaming, and from being petrified about basic things that you actually handle with grace. Now, you want to present a united front. And what that means is that daddy cannot say one thing and mommy will say another thing. Once you do that, your teachers already know there are Democrats and Republicans or Labor and Conservative in your family. So they know how to manipulate you to get by doing what they want to do. And so that's not what you want to do. You want to present a united front where your children don't think that one person loves them more than you. They want to know that what my parents say is what is law, that our family has got laws which I must promote. Now, we always think that children don't like to promote laws. No, they only want to be part of the making of the law so that they can promote it, and they want to see you lead by example. Number three, you want to listen more than you speak. See, one of the core codes of respect for your teenagers is that when they're talking to you, you don't want to be fiddling with the phone. You want to make them feel that they're the most important in the world. You know, it was Mike Murdoch who said, attracting every human being is a king and a fool. The one you speak to the most is one that becomes very prominent and very pronounced. And so you want to listen more than you speak. With the younger ones, you are speaking more. With the teenagers, you want to listen more because the code of managing teenagers is to balance perspective. Remember, we have told you that between 0 to 3, you are a scout. That's your code requirement. Between 4 to 6, you are a model. Between 7 to 9, you are an instructor. Between 10 to 12, you are a friend. And between 13 to 18, you are a coach. Coaches balance perspective. They want the skill, then they want to see the talent, then they figure out how to turn it into a world-winning skill and character. And so it becomes very important for you to listen more than you speak. You want to also engage your teenagers by quizzing them. You want to normalize asking the question how and why. Why takes you to the root cause. How shows you the pattern. Many of us focus on what is he doing. Now, what is the realm of judgment? If that's all you're focusing on, because if you deploy the power of interpretation to look at the multiple ways in which you can interpret what you're saying, you're going to damage your child. And you're going to reduce your child to the challenges they're having. So maybe smoking a pack of cigarettes, you're going to reduce him to a smoker and a drug addict. Your child is none of those. He can get into a bad behavior, but your child must not be defined by that bad behavior. Number 4, speak to the identity, not the behavior. You see, in agricultural science, you have plants and you have weeds. Weeds are one plant. Now, in agricultural science, you don't attack the plant, you attack the weed. But you attack the weed carefully, because if you don't attack it carefully, the weed can actually, you can uproot the plant while trying to uproot the weed. And it's the same way. Your child can have bad behavior, but it doesn't mean your child is bad. You need to isolate it, because there are other things your child is doing successfully that you're not even paying attention to. You know, it's interesting to note that many of us can't even interpret it properly. A parent once said to me that the son was lazy. I said, really? Now, lazy? I've never seen any human being who is totally lazy. Now, the interesting thing was I asked her, is there any other thing that your child does diligently? Oh, what sport does he do? play American football, right? Is he lazy in that? At that said no. That when he's sick, he still manages to go to the training, and the coach is always giving good reviews about him. So could it mean that the child is not just interested in what you want him to be working, or maybe it's uninteresting to him, right? And so I asked her, when was the last time your child was right and you applauded him? She couldn't remember. But every day she tried to tell him what is doing wrong. You see, any human being or any plant that is full of competition is going to wither. Many of us are withering our children. The truth is, death and life is in the power of the tongue. Those that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. So speak to the identity, not behavior. And that's why whenever my son is doing anything I don't approve of, the first question I ask him is, David, who are you? He says, I'm a royalty. Do royalties do this? We engage in conversation because the world is designed to make your children doubt their identity. Your parenting response must be to remind them of who they are. If you understand the parable of the prodigal son, when he came back, the father didn't judge him. What he did was to restore him to sonship, because every misbehavior can either be traced in non-discovery of self or in non-remembrance of self. And number 5, tag moments of correction that you need to correct same way, same time, in the appropriate manner, and in the right way in which that it does not attack the identity and trample on the dignity of your child. You don't want to correct your child and then your child esteem is gone. No, that's why your anger does not bring about the righteousness of God. You cannot, your response to your child cannot be anger. It must be love. Now, it doesn't mean love does not lay down the marker. However, you need to pick your communication in a way that your child sees what is wrong, your child makes effort to change what is wrong but then your child is not losing their esteem. If you do this 5, I want to believe that you're going to be fine and you're going to be well. I want to see you through the season of raising your teenagers, right? Aren't you lucky that you now have children who are taller than you? You're now looking at them, and then they can have a conversation with you. You have done very well. So don't kill yourself and don't stress yourself. And if anything is stressing you, please get the family combo, or you can shoot me a mail, first and last name praiseforward@gmail.com, or you can go on my bio on Instagram. I am praiseforward, and click on the bio and look for my Calendly, and then book a session with me. You might want to work with me. I can help you design the most incredible, powerful family of your choice, right? Building an intelligent family wherein you build a solid system that can stand the test of time and that generations unborn can applaud you for. Or please place your order for the family combo and your life is never going to remain the same. Thank you very much for joining me again today. I'm going to see you tomorrow. Keep loving, keep believing. I believe in you. Through you, all the families of the heart will be blessed. God bless you. Have a fantastic evening. Bye-bye.